Something that often goes unnoticed by boxing fans is that knocking out an opponent is never easy. The boxers that achieved this either have mastered the art or have made a split-second decision that ended with a knockout. It is fun to watch a long touchdown pass or a scorching free kick goal, but what trumps all athletic endeavors is a one-hitter quitter that only happens in combat sports. You are watching the top 10 knockouts in boxing history, which have been ranked based on the quality of the punch, the magnitude of the test, and the occasion on which it took place. On the night of Halloween 2020, Davis came out like Freddy Krueger against Leo Santa Cruz. Davis paid homage to his idol and manager Floyd Mayweather by coming out dripped in Mexican flag-colored apparel like Mayweather Jr. wore against Oscar de la Hoya. Held at the Alamodome in San Antonio, Texas, the bout was unique as it was contested for two titles: Santa Cruz's WBA super featherweight title and Davis's WBA lightweight title. From the word go, Davis wasn't going to give away any early rounds to the dangerous Cruz. The young knockout artist was looking for looping power punches in the form of lead hooks and uppercuts, but Cruz didn't hold back, using his jab and combinations to outwork Davis in the early rounds. Davis adjusted by targeting Santa Cruz's body, slowing him down and setting up his power shots. In the sixth round, Davis delivered a perfectly timed left uppercut that knocked Santa Cruz out cold, earning the Knockout of the Year title for 2020. The punch blew Cruz so hard that there was no need for a countdown, a true mark of power. This spectacular finish solidified Davis's reputation as a must-watch fighter. The fight encompassed modern boxing in a nutshell, proving that a fight could be determined by pure skill and precision rather than power and endurance. Knockouts of this caliber are rare in boxing, especially in high-profile fights. It drew comparisons to some of the most iconic knockouts in the sport's history, such as Mike Tyson's devastating finishes or Manny Pacquiao's knockout of Ricky Hatton. So it would be only fit to be given this spot in the ranking. James "Buster" Douglas, a disregarded contender, was thought to be just another opponent for the seemingly invincible Iron Mike Tyson, famous for destroying all his opponents in senseless fashion. Tyson mania had hit the 90s, creating a frenzy and fan cult like no other boxer before. He was a heavyweight with brutal power, speed, skills, and a menacing personality like no other fighter. The odds makers had Douglas a 42-1 underdog, the biggest mismatch on the books ever for a heavyweight title fight and a true David versus Goliath scenario. This fight, held at 11 February 1990 in Japan, was a dramatic roller coaster, as no one expected it to be one of the biggest upsets in boxing history. Tyson, guided by the sneaky Don King, had lost his trainer and manager and was no longer training like he used to be. Douglas, on the other hand, had been recently motivated and inspired by the recent death of his mother 21 days prior to this fight. Tyson was met with a capable and willing Douglas in the first half of the fight, with Douglas establishing his long reach advantage with a thudding jab. Although Tyson seemed to have lost his aura, taking more punishment than usual, he managed to knock down Douglas in round 8. Douglas, however, was not going to be denied. He got up from the knockdown and used his 13-inch reach advantage to out-jab and out-punch a weary Mike Tyson. The unthinkable finally happened when Douglas stunned Tyson with a huge right uppercut and then put in left hook, right cross, left hook combination to send Tyson down for the count. History was made, and Tyson never recaptured his original form again. I was so numb I didn't even feel the punches, but I could hear them. My equilibrium was shot. Then I went down, said Tyson after the fight. Douglas's victory is heralded as one of the greatest upsets in sports history. It shattered the aura of invincibility surrounding Tyson, proving that even a dominant champion could be defeated on the night. This upset resonated far beyond boxing, symbolizing the universal truth that no one is unbeatable. After this fight, everything went downhill for Tyson. A year later, he got convicted for rape and spent 3 years in jail, which after he made a slight comeback, gaining back his WBA and WBC titles, only to lose them again to Holyfield in their infamous bout. This knockout is a testament to the fact that anyone can hit the canvas and not get up again, even the Iron Mike Tyson. Deontay Wilder is a special boxer. He has proven to be one of the greatest heavyweight knockout artists of all time. The most fun part of a Wilder fight is when the towering fighter has his opponent hurt and begins to wail at them like there's no tomorrow. Wilder proved that his unbelievable power could knock out Luis Ortiz for the only time in his career. The fight between Deontay Wilder and Luis Ortiz took place on November 23, 2019, at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. It was a rematch where Ortiz, who had outboxed Wilder for the first 6 rounds and was leading comfortably on the scorecards, seemed to be poised to force a decision. However, in the 7th round, the bout dramatically changed course when Wilder landed a singular, devastating straight right hand. That punch immediately sent Ortiz crashing to the canvas, ending the fight in a knockout and underlining Wilder's reputation for possessing one of the most lethal knockout powers in boxing today. What makes this knockout especially significant is how it encapsulates the unpredictability and raw power inherent in the sport. Despite being outpointed for nearly the entire match, Wilder demonstrated that a single moment of brilliance can erase all prior rounds. His perfectly timed punch not only shifted the momentum, but also propelled the fight into the annals of boxing history. Many analysts and fans regard that blow as among the most astonishing finishes in heavyweight boxing. A moment when the outcome turned on a single explosive second. It reaffirmed his status as a true knockout artist, capable of turning a match on its head even when he appears to be lagging behind. The timing of this fight came in between fights with Tyson Fury and the Bronze Bomber, who was looking for a major statement win before rematching the Gypsy King, and he definitely did that by firing a piston through the guard of the Cuban boxer's forehead. Typically, a fighter goes down from a punch on the nose, jawline, or temple, but to see Ortiz fold from the punch was wild. The bout between Canelo Alvarez and Amir Khan on May 7, 2016, was an explosive clash that captivated boxing fans in Las Vegas and beyond. Canelo Alvarez taking on Amir Khan was absolutely bad timing for the British fighter, as Floyd Mayweather Jr. was winding down as an active champion, and Canelo was on his way to becoming the pound-for-pound king. The stage was set by Mexico's own Canelo Alvarez, a quiet killer with devastating power who made a big statement to the fight world. Tracking down his prey like a lion in the bush, Alvarez was poking and prodding his way to finding his distance against Khan. Amir Khan, moving up from the welterweight division, attempted to leverage his renowned speed and agility to outmaneuver the champion. The defining moment came in the 6th round. After a tactical chess match marked by episodic bursts of aggression from both fighters, Canelo finally unleashed a perfectly timed and devastating punch, a knockout blow that altered the entire narrative of the fight. With a single, well-calculated strike, he caught Khan off guard, demonstrating that while speed and technical prowess can keep a fighter competitive, the capacity to deliver an explosive knockout is what ultimately seals victory. This turnaround not only secured Canelo's title, but also affirmed his reputation as a fighter with both refined boxing skill and formidable power. This knockout remains a brilliant demonstration of how strategic resilience and explosive power can collide to create an unforgettable moment. For aficionados of boxing and storytelling alike, Canelo's 6th round knockout stands as an enduring reminder that a single moment of genius can redefine a fighter's career and leave an indelible mark on the sport's history. While Canelo has chopped down many great opponents in later rounds because of his overwhelming style, this knockout was particularly special because of its unexpected nature. The commentary team was literally calling for Canelo to push the action. Former world champion turned broadcaster, Lennox Lewis, actually said it could all change with one punch, right before the Mexican fighter delivered the amazing haymaker. The blow has earned accolades not only for its immediate effect, but also for its contribution to the sport's rich history of memorable finishes. It encapsulates the drama and the sudden reversals that make boxing uniquely captivating, placing Canelo's achievement in elite company among knockout legends. Thomas Hearns was an imposing junior middleweight with freakish height and reach advantages. Known for blindingly fast hand speed and incredible punching power, delivered from long range, he was quite possibly seen as the scariest fighter in the welterweight and junior middleweight division. Roberto Duran was a blown-up former lightweight champion whose incredible skills, punching power, iron chin, and overall manliness allowed him to fatten his way up the weight classes while still taking belts along the way. Only 7 months ago in his previous fight, he had performed exceptionally well against a bigger and Hall of Fame middleweight Marvin Hagler, losing a razor-close decision. On June 15, 1984, at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas, Thomas Hearns and Roberto Duran stepped into the ring for a championship bout that would later be immortalized as one of boxing's most dramatic moments. Dubbed Malice at the Palace, the fight pitted Hearns, nicknamed the Hitman for his exacting power and precision, against the tenacious and legendary Roberto Duran, known as Hands of Stone. From the opening round, Hearns showcased his masterful strategy by using his superior reach and a sharp jab to keep Duran at bay. As the first round progressed, a perfectly timed left hook counter by Hearns even managed to slice Duran's eye, a subtle yet ominous signal of the unfolding storm. It was very much a competitive brawl, with Hearns making use of his reach advantage. Competitive, that is, until Duran gets cut and dropped near the end of the first round. Hearns jumps on him and unloads a barrage, sending Duran down for the second time in the first round. Duran opened the second round throwing back but wasn't fully recovered yet. Backed up along the ropes, Hearns, the Hitman, unloads dozens of punches before finally landing the perfect sweeping right hand to drop Duran face first. Amazingly enough, Duran regained consciousness and back up on his feet only seconds later, but the fight had already been stopped. Hearns became the first man to knock out the iron-chinned Duran. The knockout quickly earned its place in the annals of boxing lore, earning the distinction as the 6th best knockout of all time. Its significance isn't solely measured by the sheer visual impact or the sudden end it imposed on a storied fighter like Duran, but also by what it represents about the sport itself. Boxing is a realm where calculated precision meets unpredictable violence, a world in which even the most seasoned competitor can be overwhelmed by one explosive moment of brilliance. Muhammad Ali versus Sonny Liston II remains one of the most storied moments in boxing history, a fight defined more by a singular, almost mythical moment than by an extended contest. On May 25, 1965, in Lewiston, Maine, after months of build-up and controversy surrounding their first clash, Ali met Liston in a match that would forever alter the heavyweight landscape. ESPN and various historical accounts detail how Ali, with his trademark precision and audacity, delivered what would later be known as the Phantom Punch. Muhammad Ali, born Cassius Clay, retained the heavyweight championship of the world by knocking out Sonny Liston with a perfectly valid, stunning right-hand punch to the side of the head, and he won without benefit of a fix. Although it is impossible ever to discount the possibility of a fix because of boxing's still too intimate connection with the underworld, there is no shred of evidence or plausibility to support the suggestion that this was anything but an honest fight, as was the previous Clay-Liston fight in Miami Beach. The knockout punch itself was thrown with the amazing speed that differentiates Clay from any other heavyweight. He leaned away from one of Liston's ponderous, pawing left jabs, planted his left foot solidly, and whipped his right hand over Liston's left arm and into the side of Liston's jaw. The blow had so much force it lifted Liston's left foot, upon which most of his weight was resting, well off the canvas. It was also powerful enough to drop him instantly, first to his hands and knees, and then over on his back. More than 17 seconds elapsed before Liston could flounder to his feet, still only partly conscious. Even some 30 seconds later, when Jersey Joe Walcott, the referee, finally stopped the fight after a wild flurry of inaccurate punches by the almost hysterical Clay, Liston was staggering drunkenly and had to be led to his corner by trainer Willie Reddish. What makes this knockout so significant, and why it is often celebrated as the 5th best knockout of all time, is not solely the dramatic visuals of a champion toppling a feared opponent, but also the encapsulation of Ali's evolving genius in the ring. Rather than relying on brute force throughout the bout, Ali demonstrated that supreme boxing is as much about strategy and timing as it is about power. The elusive nature of the phantom punch fueled debates and conspiracy theories over the years, with critics questioning its legitimacy, while supporters praised its technical brilliance and the sheer audacity of Ali's approach. This punch symbolized Ali's mastery in turning a single moment of clarity into a career-defining victory, an artful blend of speed, accuracy, and psychological warfare that set a new standard for knockout artistry in heavyweight boxing. A long, bitter rivalry came to a head when Juan Manuel Marquez nearly decapitated the head of one of the greatest boxers of the last 25 years in the name of Manny "Pac-Man" Pacquiao. They fought 3 times, going a combined 41 rounds, but the rivalry was flipped on its head in one fell swoop that resulted in one of the greatest, most undeniable knockouts in boxing history. On December 8, 2012, at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas, these 2 fierce rivals met for their final bout. Each previous fight had been marked by near misses and heated debates over judging, setting the stage for what many considered a definitive showdown. In this 4th installment, the anticipation was palpable, and every punch carried the weight of their storied rivalry. What ultimately stole the show was Marquez's devastating left hook in the 6th round. A punch that connected with such precision and power that it floored Pacquiao with barely 1 second remaining in the round. The knockout of Pacquiao from the right hand of Marquez was so shocking because we've never seen the elite Filipino fighter look so vulnerable. This knockout was emblematic, not only because it ended the fight with dramatic finality, but also because it symbolized the unpredictable nature of boxing. Pacquiao, a fighter known for his speed and relentless offensive attack, was caught on a rare lapse, and Marquez's counterpunch became a lasting reminder that in boxing, a single strike can shift the narrative of an entire career. The punch was executed with impeccable timing and showcased Marquez's technical mastery, turning a moment of high tension into a piece of boxing poetry. The knockout's significance extends far beyond the immediate result of the bout. It has been celebrated as one of the greatest knockouts in boxing history, so much so that many experts and fans rank it among the elite. This high ranking isn't solely due to the sheer power of the punch, it's also the context in which it was delivered. After 3 closely contested and sometimes contentious fights, pressing a decisive blow against one of the era's most formidable champions elevated the knockout into a historic moment. During his peak stretch of fights, it could be argued that Mike Tyson was one of the greatest heavyweights to ever lace up the gloves, not only because of how well he combined his power and speed, but because of how accurate he was. While everybody knew Tyson had his opponents shaken before they stepped into the ring together, people wanted to see the execution, which was a Mike Tyson main event from the late 1980s to the early 1990s. One of these highlight reel knockouts came from multiple beautiful uppercuts by Tyson as he pounced on a broken Michael Spinks in the very first 2 rounds. Built like a bodybuilder with superior agility and hand-eye coordination, Mike Tyson was a nightmare for heavyweights. The fight was anything but a fight. Tyson attacked Spinks from the opening bell, throwing hard hooks as Spinks ran and hid behind a high guard, too scared to engage. Cleverly, Tyson threw a right hand to the body that put Spinks down. Spinks got up quickly, and right as the referee put them together, Tyson walked in and landed a right hand that put Spinks down for good. It took Mike Tyson only 91 seconds to become the undisputed heavyweight champion. The highly anticipated fight was compared to the first fight between Joe Frazier and Muhammad Ali, when both men were undefeated. Most people picked Tyson to win by knockout because of his speed and devastating power. A few people, such as Muhammad Ali, had picked Spinks to outbox Tyson. This fight forever cemented Tyson's reputation as one of the most dominant and fearsome fighters in the history of the sport. The fight not only highlighted his ability to dismantle even the most respected opponent in record time, but also redefined the expectations for what a heavyweight bout could be. Rarely do sports supersede world events, but the rematch between Joe Louis and Max Schmeling at Yankee Stadium was viewed as a microcosm of World War II. With all the political noise pushed to the back of Louis's mind, this was a huge opportunity for the heavyweight to avenge the first loss of his career. Coming off a bitter loss to Schmeling in their first bout in 1936, Joe Louis entered the rematch with an air of determination and redemption. From the opening seconds, Louis made a statement with an aggressive, calculated assault. Within mere moments of the opening round, he launched a rapid-fire barrage of heavy, precise left hands that caught Schmeling off guard. One powerful, well-timed right cross sealed the fight, sending Schmeling crashing to the canvas and ending the bout in a stunning knockout. After his controversial defeat in 1936, Louis's emphatic victory served as a remarkable act of redemption. It was a powerful reaffirmation of his status as the Brown Bomber, and a statement that an early setback could absolutely be overcome with resilience and skill. Beyond the technical achievement, the fight was laden with political symbolism. In an era when tensions were rising on the global stage, and with Schmeling often controversially associated by the European media with the rising fascist ideology of Nazi Germany, Louis's victory transcended sport. It came to symbolize American strength, perseverance, and the triumph of democracy over despotic ideologies. Louis's dramatic first-round victory was a devastating blow to Hitler, who turned on Schmeling and, during the war, had the boxer, then serving as a paratrooper, sent on a series of dangerous missions. Louis, meanwhile, went from being a hero of his race, our Joe, to the first black champion embraced by all Americans, black and white, an important step forward in United States race relations. The knockout, delivered in mere moments of action, resonated far beyond the boxing world, lending an almost mythic quality to Louis' career. After the war, the two boxers became symbols of German-American reconciliation. With Schmeling as a Coca-Cola executive and Louis down on his luck, the former foes became friends. And when Louis died, Schmeling helped pay for his funeral. Muhammad Ali taking on scary puncher George Foreman was one of, if not the, most important knockouts in combat sports history. With Ali on the shelf because of his refusal to participate in the Vietnam War, many speculated that he would be a washed version of himself with the nearly 3-year absence. Foreman was blazing his way through the heavyweight division and was thought to be Ali's toughest test to date. Widely known as the Rumble in the Jungle, the fight between Muhammad Ali and George Foreman was a groundbreaking moment in boxing history. Held on October 30th, 1974 in Kinshasa, Zaire, the bout pitted the reigning, hard-hitting champion Foreman against the clever, resilient Ali. Foreman entered the ring as an undefeated powerhouse, but Ali turned the script on its head with his ingenious rope-a-dope strategy. By leaning against the ropes and absorbing Foreman's furious onslaught, Ali gradually drained his opponent's energy. Then, in a burst of tactical brilliance in the 8th round, Ali delivered a decisive combination that culminated in a knockout, reclaiming his status as the heavyweight champion. This knockout was not just a testament to raw power, but an exhibition of timing, wit, and psychological warfare that forever altered expectations in the sport. Ali had went into this fight as a 4-1 underdog. There are a plethora of reasons for that, the main reason being that Ali's prime seemed to have gone. He didn't have the same speed and sharp reflexes as he did prior to his exile. Staying out of the rings during the 4 years of his prime did take a toll on Ali. The second most prominent reason for this notion was the aura of invincibility surrounding George Foreman. Before facing Ali, Foreman had a flawless record of 40-0, which included 37 knockouts. Hardly anyone even gave him a chance. Even Howard Cosell, a sports journalist and dear friend of Ali, expressed his hopelessness and concern for Ali's safety with regards to this fight. Ali's attitude, however, was indifferent to this negativity. He was hyping up this fight and was having the time of his life doing so. He received a hero's welcome upon landing in Zaire. Everywhere he went, he was followed by crowds chanting, Ali Bomaye, meaning Ali kill him, Ali kill him. This was the thing with Muhammad Ali. He was a beacon of hope. His mere presence uplifted those around him. This fight is known as the greatest competition in boxing history, and rightfully so. The manner in which Ali overcame his fears, proved all predictions wrong, and toppled a seemingly invincible giant like Foreman is something we can all learn from. We all have a George Foreman in our lives, an obstacle, an an insecurity, or a limitation. We can either let it consume us, or rise up to face it and defeat it, similar the manner in which Ali triumphed over the seemingly invincible Foreman. Don't miss out on our other videos and subscribe.